All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another video. And so today, on our new episode of Underbelly's Most Feared, we're going to be doing Mark Moran. But before we get into that, if you guys haven't already subscribed, please jump down there, shoot me a subscription. That'd be absolutely appreciated. And somewhere around that vicinity, there's a little bell icon. If you hit that little bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. I also have memberships available, guys. They are paying memberships, so they're not for everybody. And yeah, that just helps my page grow on to bigger and better things like we are doing. And yeah, all right, so let's get into it. So who is Mark Moran? So Mark Moran is the brother of Jason Moran and is the son of Judy Moran. So Jason Moran and Mark Moran have the same mum but a different dad. So Mark Moran's dad was Johnny Cole, who was shot and killed in 1982 in the 1980s gangland wars. So both the boys were like brought up around the painters and dockers and all them kind of people. And so, you know, who was he? He was, you know, well known to have connections with the Carlton Football Club. So we had many personal relationships with the Carlton Football Club. So his grandfather was actually the assistant coach at the Carlton Football Club in the 1970s. So he also had a lot of connections in the Australian film industry. So he would fund underground, like major underground films and TV shows and stuff like that. And so, you know, I guess it gave him some kind of, you know, some sense of power or whatever over these people. But yeah, a lot of people didn't know that he actually had like an interest in the Australian film industry. But yeah, so he was listed as a pastry chef or a personal trainer. But this guy had the best cars, had $1 million house in Aberfeldy, and yeah, he was very, very, very well known for being a amphetamine cook and used to sell amphetamine. So was very, very, very well known for that. And so the drug squad cop Wayne Strawhorn. So he used to supply Mark Moran with his pseudoephedrine, and so he got caught in the end, and he ended up rolling over on Mark Moran, and so that disgraced cop himself ended up doing 7 years for supplying criminals with pseudoephedrine, and yeah, so you know, he actually didn't really do much prison at all. So, like, no prison at all. But so also that prison, so that pseudoephedrine that he was getting from the cop was the same pseudoephedrine that Carl Williams was cooking for them and was stealing off them and was famously shot for stealing and cooking that same stuff.
Me.
I can't say it's a pleasure.
No.
So what are we going to do about it?
First of all, I just want to make things clear, right? For the record, it wasn't my fault.
It wasn't his fault.
Nah, not his fault. Those stupid jacks came in the wrong address, didn't they?
We let him in the house.
Did they have a search warrant?
No. So what were you doing? Giving him a guided fucking tour?
They heard it. I couldn't push them out. They just came.
Of course you can push him out, huh? That search warrant, they shouldn't have been in the front door.
Give you a month to come up with the 80 grand for the bill press, yeah?
Okay. Fair enough, no worries.
What do you mean they heard it?
What?
Cops. said he heard the pill press. What was it doing on when we hadn't asked you to make anything?
Oh, I was up, making sure it's in good nick. See it's in good working order, yeah?
He's been pressing his own stuff. All that cheap shit on the street, that's him, that's you, isn't it? Using our press, which you've now lost! Of course. He didn't pay for the press, he's not paying for the rent on the house. He can sell them cheap. We've been copying shit off everyone. Losing money hand over fist, all because this spineless little piece of shit. Fuck!
He's got to go to the hospital now. The cops will want to know what happened and you're out on bail.
So also, what a lot of yous probably don't know, that in his younger days, so he was prime suspect number 3. So there was 3 of them is suspected in being involved in the 80s. So it was a payroll robbery where the payroll officer was shot and killed. So he is believed to be the driver in that. And so that actual incident right there started a tit for tat. So that is what's led to have, that is what is believed to have what led to the 2 police officers getting killed in Wall Street. So obviously after the payroll got done, the cops killed Jed Horton. And so then as retaliation, the 2 Wall Street police officers were shot and killed.
4:30 on an October morning, 1988. Gunshots echo down a dark suburban street.
A tragic and violent end to brief lives and brief careers in the police force.
Shots that haunt police to this day.
Absolutely fresh in my mind, always will be. It was a total tragedy to see young people cut down like that who had no connection with any of the history.
22-year-old Constable Stephen Tynan and 20-year-old probationary Constable Damien Eyre.
It's the first multiple killing of police in 110 years, and you can't have people in those positions go off to work and be murdered, and there's no justice.
So yeah, famously, Graham Jensen and Jed Horton were killed by the armed robbery squad, and then the killing of the 2 police officers happened. But it is believed that the robbing of the payroll, which is believed that Mark Moran was the driver, that is what sparked all those killings. But yeah, moving on. So yeah, I mean, the reality is also that Mark Moran didn't do much prison at all, if any prison. I've never heard of any stories of him being in prison, never seen him in prison, couldn't find any information on the man being to prison. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he still was a very, very feared member of the criminal underworld. And yeah, so he was a feared member of the Carlton crew as well. But like most people in these gangland wars, there wasn't many that survived it. He was killed himself. So it was on the 15th of June 2000. So he was killed out the front of his Aberfeldy home. So he was killed, shot twice, once with a shotgun blast, which is a very famous method used by hitmen. One shot with a shotgun to incapacitate your people, and then 1 bullet with a revolver or a pistol to the head. And that's exactly what happened to Mark Moran himself. So it is rumoured and believed that Carl Williams is the person that done these killings. So yeah, that was it for Mark Moran, and it was very well known that Carl Williams was the one that done that. But how crazy is it that Mark Moran himself was shot dead, his real father was shot dead, his stepfather was shot dead, his uncle was shot dead. His mother arranged for his uncle to be shot dead. So just a crazy, crazy set of events. But like I said, not much information to be said about him being in prison, but was a very, very feared enforcer in the Melbourne underworld, and so definitely deserved a spot in our Underbelly's Most Feared series. And so he got one in there. So as I said, on the 15th of June 2000, he was gunned down, and that was one of the last remaining members of the Moran family. And then Des Moran was the last remaining member of the Moran family that was still alive, other than Judy, who is obviously still alive, who I will be doing a video on. Even though she's still alive, she's never getting out of prison, so whatever.
What do you think when you heard the verdict?
I was as happy as a Larry. It couldn't have happened to a nicer person. I was very concerned that she was going to be found not guilty, because it was 8 days to convict her. Very concerned. Yeah.
So what's your opinion of Judy, and what's your opinion of the Morans in general?
Well, the Morans were just a bunch of idiots. A bunch of pissheads and idiots. And two-bob thieves, sneak thieves and penny ante criminals and shit kickers, two-bob gunmen, you know. Look, Jason Moran, he started that whole war because he couldn't kill Carl Williams. I mean, he gut shot him and just left him there. You know, and he had Carl Williams living in his ecstasy factory, and Carl Williams is making ecstasy for Jason Moran for 2 days a week, and then making ecstasy for himself 2 or 3 days a week, right? And putting a different colour on it or a different pattern on it, and Jason Moran couldn't figure it out. Couldn't figure out where this other ecstasy was coming from.
Judy always said she didn't know what her sons were up to and what her husbands were up to. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, no one ever heard of Judy Moran until they were all dead, because I got told that if she said boo, they'd backhand her and in the kitchen. You know, shut up, you old, you know, bang, you know. And Lewis used to, he was, you know, he used to backhand her around, knock her about a bit, you know. And you know, she became the grieving widow and the grieving mother, you know. When they're all dead, she got dressed up and got her hair done and appeared on TV. No one ever saw her dressed up with her hair done and appearing on TV when they were all alive. She never appeared in front of a TV camera giving her opinion on this, that and the other when they were all getting around.
Is she evil?
What? Well, I reckon she is. I reckon she's evil. But she hasn't got a lot of brains.
Will she do hard time? How do you think she'll go in the side?
No one does hard time these days. The jails aren't hard anymore. Fulham and Port Phillip. That's not. Pensbury was hard. Hastings was hard. Jolly was hard. These modern jails aren't hard.
Dame Phyllis Frost Centre.
Well, the Dame Phyllis Frost Centre. I mean, yeah, I suppose someone might put a block of soap down a pair of pantyhose and whack you over the head with it. You know.
What sort of role will she play in there?
I don't know. She'd like to think that she ran the place, but I think she's running the place in her dreams.
Do you think that Lewis and Tuppence deserve to die the way they did?
Well, they died like idiots, didn't they?
But anyway, guys, if you got anyone else you'd like me to do a video on, chuck it down there in the comment section of this video. I have been the Chaos Chronicles. We talk about everything crime, prison, and they're alike in Australia. And yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, jump down there, shoot me a subscription. If you hit that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. I have been the Chaos Chronicles. Don't do drugs and crime and you won't end up in prison.
Prison walls can't hold me, got my mind in the fight. Calculating moves, plotting wrongs to make right. Living for the thrill in a world that's intense. The Chaos Chronicles, making sense of the suspense.